Welcome to the Get Your Ass Up podcast. I'm Tony, the closer. I'm here to inspire and motivate you to never give up on your dreams. As a former NFL athlete who overcame personal setbacks like going to jail and bankruptcy, I turned my life around to become one of the top salesmen in the world. In this podcast, we'll feature celebrity guests, successful entrepreneurs, and my incredible network to give you real-world advice on how to achieve success in all aspects of life. Whether you're looking to build a successful business, achieve financial freedom, or simply need some motivation to keep pushing forward, we've got you covered. Man, we've had amazing celebrity guests on here like Dame Dash, T.I., my boy Joe Hayden and Edgerrin James, Andre Berto, and more, sharing their stories and insights on how to reach their full potential. Listen, so are you ready to get your ass up and achieve your dreams? Hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss an episode of the Get Your Ass Up podcast with me, your boy Tony, the closer. Let's dive in. Let's change your life together. Let's go. How are you with nerves in comparison to like going and performing as a rapper?
I have no nerves as a rapper. There's nothing I already know is going to go well.
So how is it in difference in comparison as a comedian?
I mean, I just got to make sure that I deliver what I intend to deliver. You know what I'm saying? Before I step out, there's a conversation or there's a chronological order of the discussion that, you know, I just need to make sure that it goes that way. Because once you get out on stage, you know, when shit happens, you never can tell. It might be redirected or diverted just based on, like, if somebody say something in the crowd and you address that, I may kind of pivot and be on some other shit. So just to make sure that I convey all the messages that I have in my mind before I'll convey all the messages I intend to convey. And most of the time I do. Sometimes I don't.
It's scarier though, right?
I mean, man, you know, I don't operate in fear.
I'm just not actual fear, but like you said, you have like this confidence in knowing when you go and perform as an artist, you know, in your rap career, one way, right? You got extreme confidence. It's been, you know, you've done it a million times, but walking onto a stage by yourself in a different capacity where it's
still
same, no nerves, no.
I ain't say there's no nerves. There's a bit of anxiety because, like I said, I got to make sure that the things I have on my mind now, that I make sure it all makes its way out to the crowd, you know, when I hit the stage. So that's not necessarily fear. It's more preparation. It's more like I have to make sure that I am more prepared. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think about it more.
Right.
I think about it a little more in comedy. But music, that sure will do itself.
Right.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
The songs is the songs. I get out there, I can damn near let the crowd say most of it. And that's the beauty of music. Because when people come to your shows already knowing your songs. They know what song they want to hear you say. So when you put the motherfucker on, it's like, oh, that's what I wanted to hear. And there's an automatic energy there, you know. And with comedy, it's like, I don't know if I'm going to find what you saying funny. You got to say it first. Mm-hmm. It's instant return on your application of skill. Like it's almost like taking the test and get it graded immediately. You did.
Right.
You gonna know whether they like that shit or not immediately.
So, who inspired you in the comedian world? Like, what type of artists have you, whether old school or current day?
Bro, to be honest with you, I have admiration and respect for so many comedians. all of the Ha Mafia, K-Dub, Erica Duchess, Ronnie Jordan, Tyler Chronicles, Nav Green, J Ski, you know what I mean? All of them stream inspirations. DC Young Fly, Carlos.
Carlos, that's my man.
Yeah. Mike Epps, Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle, like Kevin Hart, you know what I mean, Bruce, Earthquake.
You going back to the old, what was that back in the day, BET Comic View days?
Yeah, I'm just saying, but like the Tony Roberts, you know what I mean? Like these is motherfuckers who kill it. Bill Bellamy, you know what I mean? Like these are motherfuckers who, you know, D.L. Hughley, Sid the Entertainer, Bernie Mac, Robin Harris.
So you respect the game?
Yeah. I always have. Noah Holston, Lil Duval. You know what I mean? It's a gang of cats that I look up to, that I like really admire their craft. And it's certain people you could never go up there and do that shit the way they do it.
Right.
Like Bruce. You can't go up there and do that shit like him. I don't give a damn. K-Dub, you can't go up there and do it like him. Lil Duval, DC Young Fly, you know what I mean? Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart. You can't go up there and do that shit like them.
Mm-hmm.
You can practice and try. You can do what you intend to do, but you can't go up there and do that shit like them. And, you know, that authenticity is what makes it special.
Right.
I mean, it's not just what they saying. It's the fact that it's coming from them and nobody else can say it in such a way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I respect that.
Yeah, so that I knew that, you know, from obviously being a rapper and jumping into that field, that it was going to be a big challenge for, you know, obviously like going from one place where you know the music is going to deliver every single time to having to walk into a room and now you're having to make sure you deliver every single time and on the spot down there, like you said. So
I love it.
Yeah, that's dope. I'm definitely coming to check you out tonight.
I love it because when I go out there, bro, the look on people's faces, like the amazement, just kind of like the I guess wanderlust. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe this nigga's up here doing this. You know what I mean? Damn. You know what I mean? And I'll never get that look in music ever again. You know what I mean? Like, once you have shown you could create a dope song, you could create a classic album, you can have a platinum album, you can have a multi-platinum album, you can come back to back. There's nothing else. Like, okay, Tip putting out an album. Psst, okay, it's gonna be good. Oh, you know what I mean?
They're still waiting on it.
I mean, but what I'm saying is, but you already expect it to be good.
Right.
You expect it to be good. And if it's great, it's like, yeah, well, it's kind of what we expected. It's a little bit more difficult to shock the audience because they're already used to you doing well. You have to go somewhere where people expect you to fail. And all indications of failing are imminent. And go in there and prevail and succeed. And that's what I get with comedy.
That's what's up. All right, so another thing I want to really ask you a few questions about, just like is like investments and business strategy. What, you've obviously come into a lot of money over your years.
More than some, less than others.
So a lot of money you come. When you get that big bag, what would you say was like probably one of the worst things that you blew money on? Because everybody has that story like, damn, I shouldn't have bought something. Or
which big bag?
Any bag. I mean, you've been doing it for a long time.
Let's name a number.
First off, tell me the biggest check you've ever got. What's the most money you've ever had at once?
What you mean? The most money I've ever had at once, as far as one paycheck?
One paycheck, yeah.
I think, I don't know, 26 million maybe, something like that.
What'd it feel like?
Felt like 26 million. Nah, but to be honest with you, man, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure to maintain, manage, because getting the money ain't half as challenging as keeping it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I walked around with a $10 million check in my wallet for like a year. I didn't want to cash it.
Felt good? Or you just,
Nah, I just didn't want to cash it. I was like, cause for one, I ain't need it. I was still getting show money. Like, it was just a lump sum. And that's another thing. Like, you know, I've gotten big checks, but I already had money already. So I just added this with that. Neither here nor there. I think that man, 8-figure checks feel like the devil could potentially pull you under. You know what I mean? That shit just feel like it's a lot of scrutiny, it's a lot of people, because people are after this.
Right.
This is what everybody wants. I'm holding it right here in my hand. It got my name on it. This is what everybody wants. Motherfucker would tear my head off for this. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
So now that I have it, you can only have as much as you can protect. So it feels like a lot of responsibility.
It feel good to have that responsibility, though.
It feel better than being broke, I tell you that. But it's still like, you know, I wish everybody could get money. Everybody could get $10 million so they could see how much money don't matter unless you ain't got it.
I was about to say, man, that shit matters, though.
Unless you ain't got it, money is an instrument. It's a tool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you use money to do things that would generate more opportunity.
1,000%.
To get more money. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of us have been taught to use money as a tool to boost and stroke and kind of fan the flames of the ego. Myself included. I ain't trying to exclude myself. Me too. But money is a tool. People use money to get more money. People use money to get more peace. People use money to get more security for themselves and their family. And if you just using it for vanity purposes, that shit is it'll be gone before you know it.
So, obviously, like, I've been in that position where, you know, I didn't have it, and now I'm in a position where I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's significantly less
How'd
pressure.
you get it?
Real estate.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, and that's one of the I'm glad you asked me that, because one of the things I wanted to ask you about was real estate. But just through the years, you know, a lot of us have been told traditionally real estate, you got to have a bunch of money. You got to have great credit. You got to have clean background. You got to have a license. So it was all these barriers for many people to think that they had to get nothing.
You got to have nothing but some money.
And some knowledge. And once you have the knowledge,
help.
yeah.
That'll help.
Yeah.
But even if I've seen motherfuckers who had no knowledge and just knew a good deal, just took a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was selling, I think it might have been, I don't know, let's call it 30, 40 acres out in Carolina or somewhere in Tennessee somewhere. And my partner, you know, he had a little money. He was from the life. He had a little money put up, and he didn't know, you know, anything about real estate.
Right.
No knowledge of whatever. He just thought it was a good deal. He was like, man, shit, this the same. If I could buy 30 acres for the same amount that I could buy a car for, I'm gonna take that risk.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, them 30 acres, The motherfucking I think it's either a Ford plant or a GM plant was built shortly thereafter, not far away. He trying to figure out how to develop on that land right now that he didn't pay. He just paid some fuck up in the club money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he had no idea. He just took a shot. So if you have an opportunity to buy land, a patch of dirt, I don't give a damn. First of all, if you holding your money in the bank is making money off your money and ain't giving you shit for it.
Facts.
The bank is playing the market and they making money off your money and ain't giving you nothing for it. So rather than keep all your money in the bank, to me, what I have found to be more valuable, take a lump sum and put it in a piece of property. You could put it in I don't give a damn if it's a commercial piece, a residential piece. It could just be a patch of grass. If you let that shit sit for 6 months or a year, guarantee you it will appreciate more than it would have in the bank.
Absolutely. All right, so look, y'all always asking me, hey, Tony, I need to learn the game. I need to learn how I can make some money. So listen, I got a special for you, and it's only for my people that are my listeners on the Get Your Ass Up podcast. Right now, for all my listeners, I got my Rona Proof book, right? $37 typically. Right now, Get Your Ass Up, customers only. Use the promo code Get Your Ass Up in the checkout box. Right now, you get this book for $10. All right? Rona Proof. It's my 10-step system. Teach you step by step how you can actually get into the real estate industry without a real estate license, without any credit, without even having any experience. I literally walk you through step by step how you start actually working from home virtually and flipping real estate contracts that you can make anywhere between $5,000 or more simply by being a middleman. So go get your Rona Proof book right now. Use the code Get Your Ass Up. You'll see a link pinned down at the bottom, TonyTheCloser.com. Right now, go get your book, Rona Proof, right now, virtual wholesale system.
So, I mean,
that's great advice. Like one of the things, what I did is I started teaching people how to wholesale. Wholesaling is what I call the pawn shop of real estate. Essentially, you're being the middleman, and we play the middleman so well in our community. I say, hey, let's teach people how to be the middleman in a different capacity where you can actually do it legally, not have to look over your back. You know, at the end of the day, and make good money.
Right.
So wholesaling is what like really took and built even my brand that I have today to the level it's at. Over the last couple of years, definitely during the pandemic, I created a program called Rona Proof. Rona Proof was literally a virtual wholesale program teaching you how to play the middleman from home, flipping real estate contracts. So now you don't need a license, no experience, no background, and you could get.
You just buying the contract.
You putting you actually finding distressed sellers, right? So I always say the pawn shop, right? Who goes to the pawn shop?
I love distressed sellers.
Yeah, distressed seller is exactly what
foreclosures,
pre-foreclosures, tax delinquency. People that
before it hit the courthouse.
Before it hits the right. You want to go directly to the seller.
Right.
We're basically now going to play the middleman. So what I do is I teach people how to go find the distressed seller, play the middleman, and then put that property under contract, and then sell the paper for more money to a back-end investor. Yeah. So now you don't even have
I've actually bought a contract before.
So you've played you played the wholesale game.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I ain't know. I just wanted the property. It was under contract. And the person who had it under contract, I was like, man, let me just give you a little bit more than you got it under contract.
That's a wholesale transaction.
I don't think that was his intention.
Right.
But I was like, let me, just cash out, make a quick 100,000 right quick.
Yeah. So that's the cool part. I had a young kid in Atlanta, 21 years old, made 96 grand playing the middleman.
It might be the motherfucker who goddamn who sold me that contract.
but that's the reality is what wholesalers do is they play the game of marketing. You're gonna just get in contact and reach out to all these people that you know are distressed, and you find just the one person that's gonna be like, yeah, I'm willing to do business. You put it on the contract, sell it for more money. And what I found is that was giving people a entryway into real estate, something that for years has made it where there were so many barriers in our mind of how we would get into the business.
I can't even lie. I've always known people buying like houses and buildings and like, you know, even when my uncles was in the dope game, like that was the main thing that they, you know, they were just putting their money together, buying houses, buying automotive shops, buying, you know, like that was kind of something that my pops, he owned a candy store and an apartment building in Harlem. So I just kind of already knew that when you get money, the natural evolution is to buy property.
Right.
But even though I knew that, I didn't practice it until my uncle kind of nudged me and, you know, he kind of like, yo, basically told me, man, give me 20,000. I'm like, man, and I just got a check for 60. Like, give me 20,000 before you fuck it up. I'm like, man, fuck. And he was just getting out of jail and shit. He was just getting out of prison. And, you know, he had visions and shit. And this is my uncle, like, you know, like really, you know, like my mentor,
right,
if you will. So, of course I gave it to him. And, of course, I fucked the other 40 up. But later on, he rode me down the street and pointed at a house that looked familiar to me. And then as I looked at it closer, I was like, yeah, I know that house. I used to sell dope out of there. That's such and such house. But why are you showing me the house? He said, that's what we did with your money. Bought this house. Then I renovated it. And now it's no longer a dope house. It's a family in there. I was like, damn, that's cool. He was like, and I can give you your money back. Or we can go get 2 more houses. And that's kind of how, you know, we started New Finish construction back in 2000, I think. 99, 2000, something like that. And you know, we've done probably over 100 houses.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but I then, when the market crashed, I reminded myself I had a day job. I don't have to deal with this shit. And I noticed when the market crashed that the one thing that did not suffer was commercial real estate. Mm-hmm. So I told my uncle, you can keep building these houses if you want to. I'm going commercial. So then he still does his houses, and now I do commercial. Mm-hmm. And I'm interested in more of a like multifamily, mixed-use development strategy.
Yeah, see, some of the things I really love is that you can attack real estate with so many different angles and being creative. What really sparked my interest 2016, my dad had, like your uncle, had been trying to tell me, hey, give me some of your money and let me place it to the side. And I'm like, Dad, man,
Black kids have a real mixed emotion about having parents say, let me hold your money. My mama used to hold my money, I'd never see it again, man. You know what I mean? Man, let me hold it for you. You gonna lose it. And then when I go ask for it, all this groceries I done bought, make me feel bad by even asking for my own money and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I understand your apprehension. Mm-hmm. I had similar reservations, but I just went on and gave it to him, and, it turned out to be the right move.
Same thing happened for me, man. I made a $12,000 investment with my dad at the time. He opened up his drawers, and he started showing me the real estate portfolio that he had been building over the years. And my dad isn't like me, where you see the jewelry and the
most are not.
Man, he opens up he opens up his file cabinet. This is no bullshit. Opens it up, he goes, pulls up another drawer, 4 cabinets. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, I own all of these. And I sit back for a minute, I'm like, hold on, Pop. Like, I'm just doing the math. Like, this isn't, we in North Carolina, and I'm looking at, I'm like, 100,000, 150,000, You just start doing the math. You got a couple hundred properties that, like, you start doing the math. You're like, hold on, Dad, you got a bag. Like, what the like, and that's when I realized.
And then you're like, damn, I only gave him 12,000.
But what it did is it struck something in me where I understood leveraging real estate beyond just having to have a whole bunch of capital. See, what we started doing was my dad became the bank. What he did is he found these distressed sellers, and then instead of like fixing and flipping them, he became the bank as he did rent to own.
Okay.
So now he's got people that were coming in, and he's now operating as the bank. Instead of them going and getting a loan from Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and then these institutions, he's now holding the notes for all of his properties.
That's dope.
One of the most important pieces to that is what? Interest, right? So we got people that are on 5-year balloons or 3 to 5 year balloons, and the
ones that go delinquent, that's really,
well, when they go delinquent,
you get the house back.
You get the house back, and you made all the money.
Yeah.
So now this takes you from the traditional,
which nobody wants to see. Nobody wants to see that.
But
nobody
that's
wants
business.
to see people go delinquent. I mean, but yeah, it's business, but it's still like when we take a risk and step out on a limb to try to help someone to acquire a home for themselves, because home ownership is the cornerstone of wealth.
Wealth, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So you want to see somebody take that first step so they can build on top of that. And when that doesn't happen, you're not happy about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Of course you take the money, but you know, but you know what I mean? But you're like, damn, I had like high hopes. I was hoping that you would actually follow through with this.
It's just the beauty of having real assets, right? You know, you're protected. Your interest is in your asset is protected.
I just hate to see it.
We all hate when deals don't go according to plan, but what happens? It's part of life. I mean, every single day there's somebody that's going to pass away. There's somebody that's going to go through a divorce. There's somebody life just happens. No matter if it's losing a house or somebody splitting or whatever it might be, shit happens.
It doesn't make it hurt less. You know what I mean? The money is cool, but it still hurt a little bit because I believed in you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I thought you was gonna make it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you don't make it
later. If you don't make it, I keep the money and we'll, you know what I'm saying?
If you don't make it,
if you don't make it, I keep the money and, you know, I find a way to get over it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that more people like your father. I also know a gentleman by the name of John Hope Bryant. Mm-hmm. John Hope Bryant is a mentor of mine. He does what I call boring business.
Right.
You know what I mean? He is probably one of the largest residential home owners in America as a black man. He probably got, I don't know, some thousands of homes on a rent roll, and he also, you know, for his tenants that I guess that he deems appropriate, he will do like your pops do. He'll do a rent to own, and you know, and he's put people in houses that came to rent and didn't think they have an opportunity to own. Mm-hmm. And he's actually
help people go into ownership.
Worked all the way through every step to get them into home ownership. And that, you know, because that ain't nothing no bank would do for us.
Sure, absolutely.
That ain't nothing, you know, most white people wouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. There's some that will, far and few in between. But for a brother to do that, you know what I mean? Right. It just feels special.
Yeah, it sounds like he's very in that same loop of where my father is with ownership. the property gives you the opportunity to do a lot of things, helping people that probably weren't in situations to help themselves
Right.
get closer to ownership. And then obviously, like you said, you can build wealth with it. So we know it's important. And I wanted to speak to you about real estate because we got so many people who look at the money that comes into them like it lasts forever. And I'm glad that you said, you used an analogy with your uncle and having that property that you blew the other 40,000.
I did. I bought some shit I needed, but I blew most of it. You know what I mean? Got me a car, got me an apartment, you know what I mean? Little furniture, some clothes and shit. Most of it, I just, for the most part, I blew it.
What business advice would you give somebody that's new to money? If you had, if like you talking to your boys or your kids or whatever, like, man, they just new to getting this real money. They started making $10 million, $5 million, $10 million. What type of 3 things that you would say you would need to do immediately from what you've learned over the years of experience?
Hold on to your money, man. All right, well that's generic, so I don't want to say that. Get you a trust.
He talking now. All right.
Get you a trust. Own nothing. You know what I mean? Get you a trust. Let your LLCs be participate in the trust, and you be
okay.
You be an employee of the LLC. Pay yourself a salary. Pay your children salaries. Pay your parent. Like if anybody you take care of, don't just give people money out your pocket. Pay them a salary. Pay them a salary and write the shit off. Because taxes are important. And people who have more expenses don't pay as many taxes. You show expenses, you pay less taxes. Keep up with your bookkeeping, your accounting. Accounting is important. If you're not gonna do it, hire someone who you can trust to do it. But in order for you to know that you can trust them, you have to know what they're doing, and watch them, and see if they're doing it correctly. So it's gonna take some, man. Having money is hard work.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just get a bunch of money, lay back, and then pretend like there's no more work to be done because some motherfuckers trying to get it. Just like you broke right now, and you want to try and find some. When you get yours, motherfuckers be trying to get it from you. So, you better work harder than they do.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? That's, and spend just as much money on investments as you do on liabilities, or should I say, luxuries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just as much jewelry you buy, just as many fancy fly cars you buy, man, make sure you got that much or more in investments somewhere. Because that shit you paying for ain't gonna last you. That shit, you buy a car, drive it off the lot, it's already decreased in value exponentially. Most of the jewelry we buy, now gold is different because it's actually a commodity, and you can actually check how many, you can check the market to how much an ounce of gold costs versus how much gold you have. So that's different. But just going out and just spending money, and everybody's gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying as much as you do this as well.
All right, that's what's up. I'm gonna wrap up. I got, I guess, one more question for you, and then we're gonna wrap this up. I always ask people about their children and not your actual kids per se, but your art. I know your records have to be babies, so you got give me your babies in order, top 5.
I ain't able. What I will say is I finally have a favorite album. My favorite album is The Libra.
The Libra.
And I tell you why. Because it has my favorite song on it.
What's that?
My favorite song. Finally, after all these years in the business, I finally have a favorite song. Family Connect. Family Connect features my son, Damani, produced by my son, Messiah. That is my favorite song, which makes Libra my favorite album.
Okay.
That's the best I can do.
Still Ain't Forgave Myself is probably one of the hardest joints that
Man, thank you.
I think everybody put me on that song a long time ago.
I appreciate it.
I was wondering what you would rank on your albums, because I know a lot of people.
I just can't do it. I can't. It's like picking a favorite child, just like you suggested. It's hard for me to do it. I can't do it.
And what's the album? Your last album going to be named?
Kill the King.
Kill the King.
Yeah.
Kill the King.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's respect, man. Hey, once again, we got the King in the building, TIP, man. Respect once
Love
again.
and respect, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for
appreciate
inviting me back again. You know,
Hey.
And I think it's important to mention that Kill the King, you know, because a lot of times, you know, a lot of people say that it's pessimistic, but to me, killing the king is like killing the ego. You dig? I feel like when I call myself the King of the South, that title or that persona, it walked in rooms before I even made it into the room. So people posture themselves and kind of, you know, because they feel like, you know, they need to be a certain way around me. And to be honest with you, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Mm-hmm. I let motherfuckers know it was okay to say you king. Mm-hmm. I ain't say I was the only king. You know what I mean?
That shit offended a lot of people.
It did, but fuck them. I mean, they had fickle emotions. I mean, they like, you know, they were shallow in theory. Like they really, their foundation was weak. If they were upset by that, mm-hmm. You should never be upset by what someone else thinks of themselves. What the fuck does that have to do with you? What someone else thinks of themselves should have no bearing on how you feel about yourself. It really don't. If somebody was to, you know, come out and, you know, call themselves God of Atlanta or whatever, I don't give a fuck. If that's how you feel, you know, carry that shit on out. And if I was to feel a certain way about that, that'll say a lot about me and what I feel about myself. So, but even still, it was fuck 'em then. It's all peace and love right now. You know what I mean? Like, Kill the King is about killing the ego. Because I've learned that the ego is really is self-destructive. You know what I mean? So all I want is like peace and prosperity. You know, I want to put out good energy. I want to receive good energy. And I think that killing the persona of king is the first step to getting there.
That's what's up.
Right on.
Looking forward to hearing it too, bro.
Love and respect.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Get Your Ass Up podcast. Thank you so much for joining me in this journey of learning, growth, and self-improvement. I hope you found value in our discussion and feel inspired to apply the insights we've shared to your own life. If you enjoyed the show, please don't forget to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with your friends and family. We're committed to providing you valuable content to our listeners, and your support continues to help the growth, and I want to over-deliver on that promise. I'm your host, Tony the Closer, and I want to remind you to never stop striving for greatness. Keep pushing yourself. Never give up. And remember that we're all in this together. Stay tuned for more empowering episodes continuing our way to success. Until next time, keep moving forward, and remember, get your ass up and make that shit happen.